In this video, what we're going to do is we're going to build a UI system, and it's going to keep track of our score so that when we kill an enemy, it adds to our score, and when we get hit, our lives lower down until we reach 0, where just like in the previous video, the spawn manager continues to stop. So let's jump on in. Welcome to video 6. What good is an arcade style shooter game without a score to brag about? In this video, we're going to build our user interface. This is going to display our score, remaining lives on screen, and we're going to write some code to update everything in real time. But first things first, we got to make sure that we have our TextMeshPro imported. So go ahead and click up here at the top. Up at the top, click on Window. Go down to TextMeshPro, and we're going to go ahead and just click on Import TMP Essential Resources. Right, it's going to pull up this Unity package to import, and just go ahead and just press import. That way, have it all in there. Right, it's going to take some time to think, but eventually you'll see this file that says TextMeshPro. It should all be working now. So if we right click in hierarchy, we go down to UI canvas, click on text-TextMeshPro. We should see this box that says new text, as well as our large canvas here. And just for reference, our camera for our game is all the way down there. But if we look on it, you'll see that the text display is just fine. It's not gigantic or huge or anything. What we are going to do though is we're going to go ahead and move this text up along the Y. So you could just take it like I'm doing and go all the way up like that, or what you can do is with text mesh, or the text selected in hierarchy, hold shift and click on the anchor there, and this anchor square in the top left, and then select the top left box. It's going to change the anchor position to the top left corner of our canvas. And with that, we should be able to just press 0, and now it's up at the top. Now, I don't personally like things hugging the edges like that, so I'm going to bring this down. We'll go try this again, -50 on the Y, and then we're going to go +50 on the X, and that's going to be where it's at. For this box though, let's see, this one will be our score, and for right now we're just going to make it equal to 0. Let's go ahead and change the name of it to score text and press enter. We'll go back to our scene. Now let's talk about this a little bit. So our canvas, right, acts like a giant overlay screen on our camera lens. It's like putting a filter, right? For those of you that are big on your Instagram and your TikTok, you can use filters to change or adjust the appearance. This acts just like that, only the other thing it's letting through is whatever UI elements we put inside of our canvas. The event system is needed so that everything within the canvas can be selected, updated, or triggered in some form or fashion. So now that we have that score text, let's go ahead and duplicate it by pressing Control D, and you're going to see it says score text 1. Go ahead and rename that to lives text, and go back to our scene view. In the inspector with lives text selected, we're going to type in lives : 3. Go ahead and grab your move tool, and let's just move that down some. I'm going to go ahead and move it down another 50 on the Y. So now this is how it's going to be displayed on screen. Now, since we have our lives at 3, let's go ahead and make a quick change to our player and click on your player. Over here in the inspector, down here where it says lives, you can change that to 3. Press save. In our hierarchy panel, we're going to right click and we're going to add another empty game object. This time it's going to be called UIManager. I made the UI and the M all capitalized. Go ahead and reset its transform so that it's 0, 0. And next we're going to go into our scripts. We're going to create a code. So right click in our scripts folder, create mono behavior script, and name this UI manager. There we go. Let that compile. Alright, from here let's click on UI manager and let that drop that manager in there and open it up, and then we'll start coding. With our UI manager open, let's go ahead and copy in our code, and then we'll talk about it. First thing we're going to add is this TMPro namespace. So in order to talk to our TextMeshPro elements, we need to add this namespace at the very top, just like we did in the last video when it came to the systems.collection namespace. This next thing is we're going to create 2 public slots for our text objects in the form of variables. One's going to be called score text, the other one's going to be called lives text. And then lastly, for now, we're going to add in these 2 custom methods. So what they're going to do is each one is a public method. Update score is going to take an integer and change the actual .text element to display the score that the player has. And then the update lives is going to do the exact same thing, but with the lives or remaining health of the player. Alright, save all that, and then let's go to our player script. Let's see. That is a liar. All those open. Alright, let's just close all of the tabs and then reopen our player controller. I forgot that all those TMP scripts open up when you import it. So we need to open up our player, but before we do, let's go ahead and just drag this in. With UI manager selected, we'll drag our score text onto our score text and our lives text onto our lives text holders. Now let's open up that player controller, get rid of that TMPro surface script. Alright, now that we have that open, let's add, well, how do we want to do this? We're going to go ahead and add, right under here under lives, we're going to add a public integer and call it score, and we're going to say that right now it's equal to 0. We're also going to add, underneath our spawn manager, add a private reference to our UI manager and call that UI manager. Now, inside of our start method, what we're going to do is we're going to wire up that UI manager. So we're going to say UI manager game object. You're going to find the game object named UI manager, and we're going to look for the component inside of that, in this case a script called UI manager. Next thing we're going to do is scroll down to the bottom. We're going to create a brand new method, custom method. This one's going to be called add score. So what it's going to do is this is going to run and add a points variable that we're going to pass through and then it's going to take our current score, which currently is 0, pass through the points, and then update the UI manager with our score. Save all that, and now we need to go into our enemy script. So let's go ahead and open that guy up, give this a chance to compile. Open up our base enemy script. There we go. Inside of our on trigger enter 2D, right? What we're gonna do is, how do I want to do this? I think what I'm going to do is, I think I'm gonna leave this. I'm gonna test it out. I'm gonna say player dot, not player controller. I can't call a player because I didn't okay, fine. So I'm going to copy this line up here. I don't like it. It feels a little messy, but that's fine. Like that. And then I'm going to say player dot add score. And for right now, we'll just say 10. So what we had to do is, I wanted to just say player dot add score 10, but because we called it down here, I couldn't. So I had to, I guess what I could have done, let's try that. We're going to experiment a minute. I'm going to cut this out, and I'm going to say, I'm going to add a reference. So the same way we added a reference for our spawn manager and our UI manager, I'm going to add a reference here, private player controller. We're going to call it player controller. And then just like we did in our start, we're going to, actually, I'm just going to copy this, and in our start, I'm going to do that, and only this time it's going to say player controller. All right. Let's see. You're going to find the player, and then you're going to look for the player controller. Only, I think that'll work. That should work just that way. So I should be able to comment this out, and we're going to say player controller add score. And if that works, then I can remove this and adjust that too, but it's not needed. It may not be needed. Just want to test it out and see if that's going to work. So what should happen now is if I press play, alright, and it works. It's updating the score if you look at the top left. Now let's see here. Nothing happening with the lives yet, or at least not on screen, but we'll do that next. We know that the score works though, so that's good. Nothing's broken there. Alright, back in our script over here. What we're gonna do is, we should in our player controller be able to just say UIManager dot update lives, and then pass the lives in. Just like that. And now we test that out, and if that works, then we're good. And if you look at the top left, you'll see that the lives are updating just fine. And when it gets to 0, no more spawning. Everything is good. Nothing's broken. So in this video, we added a new method called add score. You should have been able to create a UI canvas. You should have been able to update the score in the lives text or code, and you should now be able to explain what a canvas is and how the event system's used. In the next video, what we're going to do is add a new enemy that shoots at the player, as well as maybe some asteroids that come down, just to add a new level of suspense or difficulty, whatever you want, however you want to call it. But until then, keep learning, keep building. I'll see you in the next video.